think we're ready to give this a shot. So, let me show you something. No, wait. First, let me show you where we've been. Okay. Here's that car. It's a Bachmann from a train set car. Now, I sprayed this with matte finish. This is the glossiest matte finish I have ever seen, ever. I don't see anything that's matte finish about this at all. But I don't care. This is a test car. I'm just going to keep it this way. It looks cool by itself. And when it's way back there, it looks good. Then we got this car. And this one, matte finish is a little better. Turned out pretty nice. For, considering all we did was a little tracing, a little dry brushing, a little panel lining, and this is what we got. Not bad. Now, here's the Pennsylvania car. I have 4 more of these. Again, that is not matte finish at all. But just when I set it back this far, if this was on the tracks, I really like the look of this. I don't know why, but this car, to me, from way back here, it stands out. And since I got 4 more, I'm going to do them all exactly the same way. I'm going to use the same matte finish. That's pretty good. But I use some fancy matte finish that is not matte finish at all. I don't know why it's called matte finish. But anyways, what we got next is, now, we're getting into the main event. And the main event here is I got these decals. Now these are for the Thousand Lakes region of the NMRA 75th anniversary. And they were meant to be put on a double plug smooth side boxcar. Unfortunately, we didn't bother to check to see if you could actually get such a car. Turns out Details West made one way back in the 80s. So we're short on cars for this. However, using the same thing, one of the members of the Cult of Madness came up with 11 of these mechanical plug door reefers. They're not entirely smooth side, they're riveted, but we can live with that. And so I went ahead, and we're going to use this new Artist Loft paint that I got at Joann Fabrics. It's one of their premium acrylics. And since we got to paint a lot of them, I got a great big thing full of it. And we're going to try it on the wet palette in a second here. But I decided I'd go ahead and airbrush one of them. And this is how it turned out. I'd already done the silver parts on here. And I didn't have good primer because all the caps crapped out on me. And so I used, I don't know, surface primer or something, which is a little rough. But it'll work. And so right now I got it in glossy paint, in glossy clear coat, so we can decal it. But we're gonna compare this one to this one. I went and got my usual primer, and I don't remember my usual primer being this glossy. This is the stuff I almost always use, and it's way glossier than usual. Usually I take a fiber cloth and I have to clean it off. This stuff really went on glossy. So I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out here in just a sec. We're going to paint this guy with this paintbrush. After doing the airbrush, I remembered why I prefer to hand paint over the airbrush. The airbrush, yeah, it's cool and all, but it isn't fun. It's not fun like what we're going to do now. We're going to actually do something that's fun. And so this paint is really thick. And so it took me a little messing around with the airbrush to get it to work. And we're going to put it on our wet palette. So I'm going to take one of these little scoopers here. I'm just going to scoop some of this stuff out of here. And I'm going to put it right on the wet palette. Just like that. Oh, that's a lot. That's going to do a whole bunch of cars. Okay, we're going to do just like that. That's going to be more than enough to last us a little while. Okay, and now that I've gotten it everywhere, we're going to go ahead and we're going to test it with the paintbrush. Yep, we're going to brush this. We're going to brush this, and then we'll compare the airbrush car to the hand-painted car later. I'm not doing the roof. I think I want to make the roof silver, and we'll see. So we got the 3 cups as usual, the 91% alcohol, distilled water, and distilled water with baby shampoo, not with dish soap like we've done so many times before. So now I've got it in the wet palette. The wet palette is a piece of baking parchment, and there are 3 layers of paper towels under here, and it's got distilled water in the paper towels. All right, so I'm going to get this in a spot where we can do this. Okay, now let's find some decent glasses for this. Not these yellow ones. Here we go. We're going to test it. So this is a brand new brush. I think I got it at Michael's. White Tacklon. White Tacklon is my favorite, so let's go ahead. A little alcohol first. A little distilled water second. A little distilled water with baby shampoo. Nice and gentle. There we go. Now, we take our wet palette, and let's raise you guys up now. Let's get you guys up here so you can see what we're doing. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, I got to get in close. All right. So we're going to take this guy. Now we've got the water with the baby shampoo in it. We're going to go under a wet palette, and we're going to draw back. So I want to show you first. So this is really thick paint, which is good. That means it'll go a long ways. So watch what I do on the wet palette here. I'm going to draw back a spot like this. Okay, I'm going to draw it out into a flat surface. And there's that distilled water under here is going to keep it nice so it doesn't start setting up on us. Okay, just like that. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and see about painting. Let's see about painting here. So let's go ahead and start on an end. I always start on the ends because they're easier to practice on. So let's start on the easy end that does not have brake gear. And boy, I don't know about this primer. This is so glossy. I don't know if this is even going to work. Well, I'll tell you what, that's pretty transparent. That's like really transparent. That's okay though, because we go around the world usually 3 times. And then we're going to compare this to the airbrush. And I've got a good airbrush setup. I've got a big compressor, got a nice airbrush, and I got nice hose and everything. So I know the airbrushing was good. All right, so that's coat 1. Now, from me looking at it, it looks really transparent. But when I look at what you guys are seeing, it looks really good. I'm looking at the screen, and that looks like really good. And when I'm looking at it, it looks a little transparent to me. But that's coat 1. Okay, let's go back. Get a little more. Now let's hit the hard side. It's got the brake gear and everything. And because we're using the wet palette, we don't worry about brush strokes. Right? We're not painting this big thick glob out of the pot or anything. We're smoothing it on here. And I'll tell you what. So this is the Ace Hardware brand Rust Stop Primer, which has been my go-to stuff. Fortunately, I've had 3 bad cans where you press a button and nothing happens. And that's too bad. But that Ace Hardware brand primer, it's probably the cheapest primer you can get, but I really like the way it works with the paints that we use. Okay, so once again, that's not terrible. It's very transparent right now. But in the camera there, it looks like it's really good. So now, let's go for something harder. Let's do a side. Let's get some paint here. Let's go ahead and we're going to do a side. Here we go then. Here we go. Can we do it? Now it's okay on the first round that there's going to be some stroking. You will notice some brush strokes. Oh yeah, we got rivets and stuff. So let's kind of pre-mop this thing a little bit here. And let's kind of pre-mop it. All right, so then we're going to smooth it. All right, we're going to smooth it. A little mopping. Make sure every detail's got the paint. Now we're going to smooth. And we're going to smooth and smooth and smooth straight up and down. I got to keep mopping on this first round. We're going to have to mop around these details. That means mopping pretty good. Do a bunch of this kind of stuff right here. Like, what? You can't do that. How many guys tell you, you can't paint with one hand? You just can't do that. It's just not allowed. It's against the rules or something. I think it's against the rules. Right? But, hey. We never believe conventional wisdom until we have tested it and tried it for ourselves. Okay, my brush is getting a little dry. Little dish soap. Not dish soap, little baby shampoo. And yeah, oh yeah, that smoothed it out. That smoothed it out right quick. Now I'm already breaking my own rule and going back over what I painted without letting it set up. I want to go back over it a second time. And I don't want to see how where I screwed up right there. That's me going over a part that has been where we've swiped it up and vertically. We're supposed to not go back over that until we come around to the second run. And yeah, these guys got a lot of rivets and stuff, so we have to do. We got a lot of details where we got to get in there, and we really got to do some mopping. Yep, we're gonna do some mopping, and then we're gonna smooth it. We're gonna smooth it nicely. Now, screwed up right there, but I'm gonna leave it. You know why I'm gonna leave it? Because this is only first coat. All right, so the first coat. Now you looking at it in the camera, I don't know if you can see. It looks okay. I can see right now, I can see that it's a single coat with a brush. That's what I can see. We're going to do a little more. That baby shampoo is turning out to be more and more useful every day. So let's mop this guy. Get grills and stuff. We got ladders and things. We need to get paint in there and get all that. Get our blue in there. And if we go quick, and get in there quickly, we can get all this stuff in there, and then we can mop it. See, I got too much water now. I got too much of the baby shampoo and distilled water in there, and that's why it's super light like that. It's okay. First coat, not a problem. What I don't want is pooling. I see where the pooling is. Where it starts to pool, you got to get after that. Get after that right away, because later it becomes a pool that's a problem. So this side is turning out way lighter than the other side because I dipped the brush in the water and didn't wipe it on the paper towel. The only way to get after these rivets is to go back and forth like this, and then quickly get in there and smooth it out. Let's get the pooling out. Okay, this side is way lighter than the first side. Still not that bad. Now let's go back to the very beginning. Here's our guy. Let's go for another coat. So first, let's get a brush. This time, I'm going to wipe them on the paper towel. And then we're going to draw back from our paint. And let's see what happens now. Now we smooth them on. And there's some rivets in that corner. You have to get in there a little bit, and you're going to have to smooth it. There's some spots in here, but otherwise, the second coat is going on pretty nicely. And there's some little spots we'll get after. That ain't terrible. I mean, it's not third coat good yet, but it's decent. Okay, let's go around on the side. Do the same thing here. Oh yeah, that's going on nice. See that difference? Making a little bit of a difference there. There's a bunch of details in here where we got it. There's no way around it. You just got to do like this. Okay, you got to do that, and then you got to go back and you got to smooth it. And okay, now when I can see through the primer like I can right here, or I can see through the paint and see the primer like I can right here, that means I need to let it set up. But already on coat 2, we're getting a better blue. Okay, now let's go around to, what is that side light colored? Let's go around to side 1. Okay, let's do our brush again. Get them nice. Okay, now let's go around, get some paint onto the palette. Okay, let's hit him again now. Now this time we're not going to do so much mopping. We don't need to mop so much. Well, we need to mop a little bit here. Okay, crap, gotta mop a little bit. All right, smooth, 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 smooth. I'll tell you what, be careful, don't smooth too much, because this stuff we're painting on with a white Taklon brush, which makes paint so thin that if you don't get out of there quick, you'll start to like remove paint that you already put on. We don't want that. I'm gonna have to say this is gonna take roughly the same amount of time as it does to airbrush, not including the amount of cleanup time I spent on cleaning the airbrush. Even though when I clean my airbrush, I just throw it in the ultrasonic. Okay, we're coming around. We are getting better coverage. We're getting much better coverage. We're not coat 3 coverage yet, but we are getting some coverage and smooth. Smooth. White Taklon brushes are great for smoothing. Gotta get in there ladder. Have to get in there. I'm gonna smooth again. And I'm using light reflection from the spotlights above to tell me where I have. Now, if I go back over here and start smoothing now, it's not set yet, and all I'm going to do is wreck it. Okay. So this side is coming in pretty nice. That's going to be pretty decent. Now, let's go back to this side where it got really light, because we used way too much water. So let's go ahead and let's see what we got. Let's get this in first. All right. There's some grills here we're going to go side to side on. There's some ladder detail. I'm going to get in there. All right, we get out of there. Let's start smoothing these sides. to do a little mopping, just a little bit, and smooth. A little mopping down here and down in there. Okay, and smooth, and smooth, and smooth, and keep going. So I am watching the reflection of the light above and seeing what it's doing. If this was a totally smooth side one, I would never have to do something like that. Second coat starting to look pretty decent. Let's get some ladder detail. Get in there. Okay, and then smooth it, smooth it. All right, we are 2 coats in. That is not bad for 2 coats in. I'm going to give this a few minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing again on a 3rd coat. And the next time you see it, it'll be in gloss for decals. But I do like the fact that it looks pretty good. Compare this one. Here's the airbrush version that's already in gloss coat. And that's where we are. So that painting by hand, do not underestimate painting by hand. Modern brushes like this white Taklon one, they're a lot smoother than you think, and they're cheap. Okay, so now we'll let her go ahead and set up, and I'm going to do one more coat, and then next time you see it, we'll be ready for decals.